Hello everyone, the 316 here. I'm here with my first G.I. Joe Classified Series figure review. I got figure number 39 from the line, a Target exclusive, Tiger Force Stuart Outback Selkirk. Retailed for $22.99. I found mine locally at Target. There's a few reasons I wanted to buy this figure. I'm not a very big G.I. Joe collector. Actually, I'm not a G.I. Joe collector at all. But I wanted another Hasbro figure line to compare to the Lightning collection. And at some point in the future, I thought about getting a selfie series figure. I've done a few face scans just to take a look, and they actually do come out pretty good, at least for my face. I know for some people it looks nothing like them, but it looks good on my particular face shape. So at some point, I might be doing a selfie series review. That's not a confirmed thing. Okay, they cost like $60, and they're gonna go up to 80 at some point, but I bought this figure because I wanted to use it as a selfie series, like body mold. And I'm going to be getting a Power Rangers body mold if I did that. So I wanted to see if a Power Rangers head fit on this body. And it does, but I'll show you that in a little bit because it's kind of weird. But anyway, we're here to look at the figure proper itself. And this figure has been, as far as I know, has gone through over a year of like delays from Target. So like it was announced in I think either 2020 or early 2021, and it didn't release until uh, I think it was like September of 2022. But he's only been more recently making his way to store shelves. They had a ton of like I think it's bats and vipers at my store too. Like they had like two or three cases of each. It was crazy. They only had about like 8 or 9 of this guy, which still a lot. It was kind of hidden. The Target closest to me is I'm not gonna say it's a mess. It's just not completely organized. That's how I would describe it. It's definitely not as bad as other Target stores I've been to. It's just not super organized. Like things are just kind of everywhere. But anyway, let's get on to actually talking about this figure. Uh, this kind of looks like me if I was older, had muscles, and grew up my beard. Like I could totally pull off this look in a like 20, 30 years. Like this could totally be me. But anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at the accessories that come with this figure. And there's quite a few, and all of which can store somewhere on the body. So the first accessory is the biggest one, which is this carrying case. From what I understand, this character is like a survival guy. His alternate, like younger form, has like survival written on a white T-shirt. So you get this nice little backpack for all your needs, and it comes with a spade or a shovel, which you can see there's a square hole in there, and there's a square peg there, and you can just shove that in on either side. So that's nice that that can store on the figure. And the camera's shaking here. I apologize for that. All right, next accessory, we have his assault rifle here. Now, I'm not a gun nut or anything like that. I usually don't collect military action figures, but if I can get this gun off. Getting it out of his hands is a little challenging. I try not to bend it because this is pretty rubbery. But it comes with a nice looking rifle and a clip that you can take out. This is going to get lost, so I'm just going to leave it in there. I'm tempted to like hot glue it in place, but I'm not sure if I want to do that. Truth is, I don't even know if I have it in right, but it kind of looks like it. What is nice though, it does come with a sling, so if you remove the magazine, you can sling it around his arm. And it looks fine. Obviously, I might not have it on the right way, but you understand that you can put it on that way. Last few accessories here, he comes with a knife on his left boot, which goes into that little rubberized piece. That's a nice knife. There's the shovel. Thought I lost that for a second. Next up, he comes with a... What is that on my hand? Get off. Gross. He comes with a little torch. No paint at all, as far as I can tell. It would have been nice to have like a little like white paint in there, but you can easily do that yourself. Last accessory here is a pistol, which looks pretty nice if it could focus. And that does have just a slight amount of paint on the wrist, or not wrist, the handle tape. to make it a little bit more thick around the handle. And let's go ahead and take a look at him holding all of these accessories. You saw him with the rifle at the beginning. He can also hold the pistol in his hand. What's also interesting to note is while he does not come with alternate hands, this hand goes up and down, whereas this one goes left and right. As you can see the joints on that one, and you can see the joints on that one. So if you want to have him, pointing his gun downward, you use that hand. If you want to have him pointing it to the side or, closer to his body, you use this hand. And while there are no alternate hands, you can take them off. I don't recommend it, though. It is kind of annoying to get them back in. But if you want to take them out, you can. The peg is pretty small, though. It will not work with, like, Lightning Collection figures, which, these pegs are way longer than what's in here. Also, these ones are a bit thicker. So there's all of his accessories, and let's stick this one in his hand, if I can get it in there. Come on, you. Let's try the other hand. This one works better sometimes with this accessory. So there he is with the torch. And last accessory to see him with is the knife. So he can hold everything in his hands, thankfully. This is a little bit loose, but it'll hold. Like, you have to kind of pull it out to get it out. And I don't like putting this in his hand because it really warps the magazine, so you're kind of stuck putting it at an angle like this. And as far as I can tell, there's nowhere to put it on the body itself that I've looked. But anyway, let's take a look at the figure proper. What really drawn me to this figure was this whole torso region. I could totally see myself wearing a shirt like this. And what's even cooler about this figure, in my opinion, is that they gave him some arm hair. Only on the forearm and not up here, but I mean, I think that's pretty funny that he's got some forearm hair. He doesn't have a watch, though, which is interesting. Unless this is a watch, and they just didn't paint a face on it. And I don't know why it's not focusing. Come on, you. There you go. But you can see that kind of looks like a watch. I mean, maybe you could fudge it. But usually the watch would be in the inner portion of the arm rather than the outer portion if he's, fighting some kind of battle. Needs to check the time. Okay. There we go. Sometimes the boxes in the background the camera likes to focus on. But there you go. There's that wrist for you. The Tiger Force logo is very nice, reminiscent of t-shirts I've worn in the past, but 3 different colors there. Or no, 2 different colors, what am I saying? There's a white color and then there's a black color. And that white really makes it pop, I think. If the white wasn't there, it'd look kind of weird. He does have this strap on his torso here that loops under the arms and has like ammo pouches, which again don't open. You can't put the magazine in there. I've tried. But there is a little bit of paint on the buckle, but no paint anywhere else. Or actually, there is some paint up top here. As you can see, it's a bit darker on the inner section of the, what I assume is to be like a leather patch. So there is a little bit of paint there. Articulation, we'll get a look at it in a minute, but let's take a look at the legs, which are a camouflage of some kind. Just probably regular camouflage. They only use one color as far as I can tell. It's like this dark gray, or it's like a dark green. It's probably dark green, but you can see there's a little bit on his butt there. There's some on both of his upper and lower portions of his legs. It doesn't look like there's any on the sides at all, but there is plenty on the front and the back. He does have these interesting kneecaps, which are not painted at all. In camera, they kind of look 3D printed. It's an interesting texture. Also on camera, they look more brown. In person, they match his legs a lot more. The boots are nice. Like, these are just some nice solid-looking boots. I do like those. And then there's the back for you. So, figure-wise, paint-wise, there's not a ton on this figure, but then we get to the head, and then you can see where they put all of the, nice paintwork. So this is one mold, as far as I can tell. There is about 2 different types of gray paint on here. There's a lighter gray, and then there's a slightly darker gray. On camera, it comes out as white and just regular gray. In person, it's a bit brighter. But yeah, you can see it all around. He also has a blue bandana, or, head wrap of some kind. Looks good though. And you can take this head off, and this is what I was getting at the selfie series. So if you take the head off, I'm just going to do it off camera. You can see he does come with that newer style neck articulation. However, my lower neck piece here is a little stiff. It can move, as you can see, but it doesn't want to. It's like, nah, fam. But I'm only going to be using Damon's head here as an example, because he doesn't have any hair. And you can see that there's a bald peg in there, and his head does stick in there. The only issue is that he's got a big neck. So if you want to use this body mold as a selfie series base, just be warned that you're probably going to have a long neck. And obviously, it's a different skin tone. I understand that. I'm just using this as an example of a Power Rangers selfie series head peg on one of these particular body molds. I can't say if any of the other G.I. Joe figures would work better, but just so you can see, he's got a big neck, but still got good articulation. So there's that. Obviously, Hasbro tells you not to use these particular figures for swapping heads because it could break. But then you can see the inside of the head. And if I put this back on, you can see he's got quite a lot of range of movement. He can tilt his head to both sides. He can, do that. He can look back decently far, look down pretty good. So a lot of articulation in these particular figures. And the only difference to like a Lightning Collection figure is the, snap here. Pretty good. Also, you got a rotation as well down there, which I don't think looks bad. With the Ranger figures, they just have one. They do have this ab crunch, but it's a bit lower, and the rotation joint's up here. So I do like that the rotation joint's lower on this one. That way it doesn't break up this particular rubberized piece. Speaking of paint, one last thing I want to point out is that the sleeves here are a brighter color than the shoulders, which doesn't completely bug me. It's understandable why it's a little bit brighter, considering it's on a beige plastic piece. But overall, I do like the look of this figure. But I think now is time we can take a look at some size comparisons. Being my first and probably only G.I. Joe classified figure I buy, let's go ahead and take a look at him next to some other action figures from same or different companies. So let's start off with McFarlane DC Multiverse. We got Peacemaker here. And before I forget, Outback stands at about 6 and almost a half inches tall. Almost forgot to do that. Anyway, there's McFarlane for you. Next up, we got, I think this is Jazzwares. Might be a different company, but I got the Spartan Yoroi here, who I think this scales good to this, but doesn't scale good to that. And then let's see, what else can I do? Oh, my Lightning Collection. Here's Mighty Morphin White. And then lastly, I got my Amanda Connor Black and White Batman statue, just so you can get a good idea on some size comparisons compared to other lines. Anyway, I think that this figure's pretty cool. It wasn't something I was going to get initially, but over time, as my interest grew, as the more I learned about the trouble that this figure went through to get made. So honestly, I do like this figure, and if I do get a selfie series figure, I'll probably see how the head looks on this particular body mold, because like I said, I could totally see this being something I would wear, minus all of the pouches and stuff. Not a military man, but I think that this would be a good base body, just you'd have to fix the neck up. So if you guys like this video, be sure to leave a like. It helps out the channel a lot. Don't forget to leave a comment if you are a collector of the G.I. Joe Classified line. If you want to leave some more information about this particular character, I'll be sure to read up on it. One thing about the box here I wanted to point out is that it comes with a little background. Let's see what else. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when videos like this one are uploaded to the channel. And as always, thanks for watching, y'all. Peace.